This week, we look at the remote town of Chimayo, New Mexico, where a man's violent rampage shocked and horrified an entire region. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay is right. You nailed that yay. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
We are pumped this week. Jimmy, how
Holy
excited
shit.
are you? The yay is pouring. It's coming out of my pores, Jimmy. I can't get enough of it.
I'm so excited. Last week was bananas.
Last week was great. You guys were so awesome on the iTunes reviews.
Wow.
Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, that's our life's blood. We cannot tell you how helpful that is to us on the business end of things, and just in our podcast world. That's the currency.
Yeah.
So thank
really
you
is.
guys. If you haven't done it yet, please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. You can say anything you want.
Yeah.
Anything you want.
It's true.
So my eyes hurt when I read for a long time. I go, all right, that's great. You should listen to this podcast then. Perfect. So anything you want, doesn't matter. Just the 5 stars, like I said, are immensely helpful to us. That would be amazing if you could do that. And if that's not enough, if you've signed in, you've given us an iTunes review, they can do more, Jimmy. They can. If you're like, I that's good. I like giving iTunes reviews, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
I need to do more. This is getting me through my workout. This is getting me through my commute. You can get on patreon.com/crimeinsports. That is our other podcast that you should also be listening to.
Of course.
As well. Also listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie about bad romantic comedies with me and my girlfriend Sarah Hunt, and it's very, very funny. Do that too. But patreon.com/crimeinsports. Do that. All that money goes to us. You can make a donation there. That is more appreciated than we could tell you. It really is. That's what keeps this show going, and you guys drive it, really. I mean, it's nothing to do with sponsors or anything else. We do what you guys like to do because we're beholden to you guys.
Rather it be that way.
And we'd rather it be that way.
Absolutely.
If you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that too at PayPal. It's our address there is crimeinsports@gmail.com, so you can do that if you feel like it. And if you don't care about any of that shit and you're like, screw these guys.
Fuck James, let him get sick.
Yeah, no health insurance for you. Screw you. I don't care. That's fine too. Yeah. You can sit back, you can listen to this show, and we're going to present you with some awesome murder, if that's 2 words that don't go together very often.
That's fun.
An awesome tale of murder, we'll say. The murder's not awesome, but our telling of it will be awesome.
You can use awesome in a lot of terrible ways.
That's true. Awesome can be. They describe tornadoes as awesome. So
it's a universal word.
This is perfectly. Then it's a perfect word for it. It's an awesome murder. This really is. Before we get started on that, just want to give the disclaimer that we have to do every single week. This is a comedy podcast. Everything is real. The facts are real. The research is real. Believe me, haven't slept for days. It's all good. This is what we do. It's all real, but we do make jokes. We're comedians. We're stand-up comedians. We don't, honestly, our whole thing is we don't want to, you get tired after a while of hearing the stories, and it's very depressing, and then he chopped her head off, and it's like, good Lord. You want to have some humor mixed in there, and that's kind of the take we have on it. So our jokes are never at the expense of the victims or the victims' families. That's not what we're all about. It's not what we're trying to do. We make fun of small towns. We make fun of everywhere. Because we're all from shitty small towns that deserve to be made fun of, because that's what life is. You know what I mean? Have a sense of humor about it. We make fun of idiot murderers who screw up. Maybe a small town bumbling police force that lets a murderer go free or kill more, things like that. That's where the humor comes from. So if that sounds good, climb on board.
Strap in.
It's going to be a fun ride. If not, if you think that true crime and comedy never belong together, ever, hey, you know what? That's fine. We understand. We shake hands. We part ways as friends. And
I'm willing to shake hands.
Let's shake hands. Let them go off on their own. Sorry, I see a guy walking away like in an old Nintendo game when you'd kick a guy off the baseball team and he'd be walking away and kicking the dirt, hands in his pockets.
With his hoodie up.
Shrug shoulders. Yeah. You didn't want to stick around. That's fine. But for those of you that are left after we've told people to stop listening,
here we
join
go.
us because we have a wild tale tonight. Wild tale in Chimayo, New Mexico.
Oh.
Everybody's been there, right?
New Mexico?
New Mexico.
Yeesh.
Your favorite state.
Ugh.
I know that's probably your least favorite state. It's one of the worst.
It's the worst one.
There's some bad ones.
Yeah.
There's some bad states. We've covered a few of them. We know. We don't have to go over.
No.
You know what? If you live there, you probably know it's bad, worse than anyone else. So
I'm from Colorado, and it's one of the most beautiful of the 50.
It's great.
And to get there from here, you have to go through New Mexico. unless you go through Wolf Creek Pass through the Four Corners, which takes a lot longer. It's like 2 hours longer. Yeah, it's like an hour and a half longer.
We're all going the short distance.
We're all going through that shithole of Albuquerque.
I have to say, if you drive through New Mexico, because I've driven through like every part of New Mexico, there are parts that are beautiful.
There are some.
The mountains, it's like a sunny day.
It's got to be up there.
It's weird because it's 75 degrees outside, but there's snow in the shade and shit like that. Like, it's a weird place where it's kind of like, this is a weird, strange place, and the speed limit's really high, which I enjoy.
Or it'll be 65 and sunny, and your skin feels like it's on fire. It's the weirdest thing.
It's definitely a weird spot.
It's a bizarre state.
Chimayo is in the north central part of the state, kind of dead center up north. It's about an hour and a half from Albuquerque.
Okay.
It's about a half hour away from Santa Fe.
I feel like I've seen signs for it then.
It's you may have heard of it because of what goes on there.
Nuclear testing?
No, not nuclear testing. It's worse. It's Catholics. They descend on the place.
Oh, really?
Worse than nuclear.
Really?
I'm Italian. I can say anything I want about Catholics. Sorry.
It's a nuclear bomb of Catholic people.
It's a nuclear bomb of Catholic people. Yeah. It's up there too. 6,073 feet in elevation. So higher than Denver.
It's one of those beautiful areas.
It's gorgeous.
Probably.
Yeah. You see that it's picturesque. I mean, it's all just mountains and hills, and
sunsets are amazing.
Yeah, they call it the Enchanted Land? Is that what they call New Mexico, or Land of Enchantment, or whatever?
I think that's it, Land of Enchantment.
This is where the enchantment comes from.
Gotcha.
Let's say, not other places.
It's not Albuquerque. It's not Santa Fe.
Albuquerque is the weirdest place ever.
Las Cruces is just as bad.
Yeah, but that's a tiny place. Like Albuquerque's like a city. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've been to Albuquerque like 4 years ago. I was there, and I had to stay over a night driving back from somewhere. And it's like it's the 70s there. Yeah. It's the weirdest place ever. There's
no landscape.
It's 30 years
Nobody
behind
has any
everywhere.
grass. Nobody has any landscape. It's all just dust.
And I know there's probably nice parts of Albuquerque.
Sure
I've never been there.
Right.
Not what's off the freeway.
Right.
What's right off the freeway is wasteland.
Horrible.
Let's just say that. Horrible wasteland. This is in Rio Arriba County, Chimayo, zip code 87522, area code 505. Like I think most of New Mexico is 505.
There's very few people. There are not enough to exhaust an area code.
Yeah, they have plenty of numbers. Yeah. Come to New Mexico, plenty of numbers in our area code. Let me tell you something.
We got plenty.
Whole fucking place, one area code. We do this easy. You type 7 numbers. You don't have to type anymore when you're here. You just know what it's going to be.
It's one of the biggest states landmass size too, and it's just so far apart from civilization.
You want to order a pizza? 505. You want to call your grandmother? 505. Doesn't matter. Same thing. It's all right. It's all 505.
It almost sounds make-believe. It's like Hollywood is 555 for everything. And
yeah.
This whole place
505, no problem.
505.
And it's a small town, 5.5 square miles. So they're adhering to the area code. 5 of this. It's an oasis, they call it. It extends from the foothills of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains to the Rio Grande Valley in there. It's an area. It's a census-designated place, they call it.
How does that mean?
What that is it's the technical definition. It's a concentration of population defined by the United States Census Bureau for statistical purposes only. It's certain, like Hawaii has no incorporated towns. They're all census-designated place. It's just literally how you file your paperwork. It means nothing.
Gotcha.
A town is the people in the center and the things that happen there, whether you call it a town or an unincorporated this or a census-designated that. It doesn't matter. Right. It's the same shit. But that's what it is, basically. It has all sorts of different neighborhoods and everything, and it kind of encompasses an area and
got it.
A town, for lack of a better term here.
Between this landmark and this river valley.
Exactly.
That's it.
The name Chimayo is from the Tewa Indian language. It means it's meaning superior red flaking stone. That's what it means. So they have nice red flaky stone there apparently, or did at some point. This area was it really started getting settled a lot in about 1692 by the Spanish. They started encouraging people to go there. They started saying, "Hey, everybody, let's go to that place. It's good, Chimayo."
That explains the Catholic part.
That explains the Catholic part, and we'll get into the demographics also, which make a lot of sense with the whole thing. Now, what they have here this is what they're world famous for, and they are world famous for this.
Can I guess?
Yes, please.
Moccasins and blankets.
They do a lot of weaving, as we'll get into later, but that's not it. There's a church here, or a mission, or however you want to call it. It's a church. It's not a mission.
It's a historic one?
It's a chapel. Oh, it's extremely historic. The El Santuario di Chimayo.
Okay.
This is, people come every year for Holy Week, the week before Easter.
Yep.
300,000 visitors a year.
Holy shit.
Come to this place. More than about 50,000 come during Holy Week.
For that week only.
For this place.
And then they disappear.
Yeah, pretty much. And then they go back. The place is a place where people go to pray for sick people. It's one of those places. There's a bunch of them in the Southwest. There's one down by Tucson that my mother used to go to all the time because she'll do that shit. She'll light a candle for someone.
It's like Canton during Hall of Fame week.
Yeah, exactly. That's what this is. Everyone's in here. There's no speeches or parades. Or probably the food's kind of weird. So just all Chili's. Yeah. Everything's Chili's, as we'll get into.
Applebee's, come on.
In a second. No, not Chili's, the restaurant. Chili's.
Chili's.
Because it's in Mexico, and everything has Chili's on it. Everything.
How white trash am I that I guessed Chili's the restaurant?
Yeah. You could go there with your child, order Cheerios, it'll have Chili's in it. Yeah. Like, he is a year and a half old. I don't think he wants
Hatch
Chili's.
Green
but they'll
Chili's,
still have
that shit.
Yeah, they'll still have Chili's in there, everything. But they come here, there's a hole in the church, and apparently the dirt in this hole is...
Dirty.
Has spiritual. It can heal spiritual and physical ills. That it's said.
Okay.
It's just this dirt. They come and pray to this hole and touch the dirt, and apparently that makes everything better. I don't understand.
And that's in the church.
It happens. That's inside the church. Okay. Inside this church. The church is very old. It was built privately. Actually, it wasn't built by the actual Catholic Church proper. It was built by a private person in 1816, so the local people could worship Jesus as depicted in what he thought it should be. It's got like a giant wood carved Jesus, and it's like a simple Spanish deal. They handed it over to the Archdiocese of Santa Fe in 1929. It became a National Historic Landmark in 1970.
Okay.
It was called, no doubt, the most important Catholic pilgrimage center in the United States.
Interesting.
That's kind of like repeatedly it's called that. So it actually has something that people go here for. Also, chili. Like I said, the chili's here. Holy shit, the chili's. The heirloom chili.
Okay.
Wow. They are nuts for the heirloom chili. They've even started in 2003, the Native Hispanic Institute founder started the Chimayo Chili Project to replenish the 300-year-old native seed stock and revive the chili industry in the area.
Really?
So they are super dependent on chilies here. Which is, I don't know.
And it's the heirloom chili that's doing it. It's not the Hatch, because the Hatch one's from the county of Hatch.
Yeah, this town was where the heirloom is.
Okay,
the whole deal here. This is they're big there. Also, what they're big for there, which is interesting, is they're huge for drugs. So chilies, worship, and drugs.
Which drugs?
All drugs. Are you kidding me? It's
close to Mexico.
Mostly heroin, though.
Okay.
Mostly heroin. This has been for a long time, since the mid-20th century, known for just a haven of drug problems, of heroin distribution. Apparently, it's up there remote in the mountains, so they go up there, and then you can distribute kind of outwardly. You can send it to the West Coast. You can send it to Colorado.
Yeah.
You can ship it east. It seems like a good.
It's a border state, so that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's up north of the border. It's not down by the border, so it's a remote place up in the mountains where you can package, distribute, and process heroin and not be noticed by a lot of people. This place for a long time had amazing amounts of crime here, amazing amounts, and record rates of overdose deaths also.
Really?
Because people were selling it and they were doing it.
There's
like
not
crazy.
A lot of people there, though.
No, not the rates of deaths.
Okay.
So if there's 2,000 people and 10 die, that's a shitload as far as rates go. Yeah. And also two giant federal drug raids were there to clean it up. There was, I guess, a gigantic raid in 1999 that actually made much of the heroin traffic move to a nearby town. Away from there.
It shifted the actual way of distribution.
Because I guess they figured out their whole deal, so they had to move it, and they moved it so that crime rates have dropped a lot since then.
Amazing.
There's still a lot of heroin there, don't get me wrong, and a lot of distribution, but the major operation moved, and it kind of calmed everything down. The crime rates are still a little high, but we'll get into that in a moment as we talk about the population of this place, 2,572.
Ooh.
So not very high,
2,572,
and that's down 12% since 2000.
Really?
So people are fleeing this place.
They're done with the drugs.
They're done with the drugs, and too, I mean, it's in the mountains, there's drugs. It's the type of place where you'd kind of be like, let's take our family away from this, and I guess move to Albuquerque, which would be...
When a town is that small, though, and it's infiltrated with drugs kind of run the town.
Oh, they run the whole town.
That's how the town operates. Yeah. And when that operation is moved, that's like moving Walmart out of Arkansas. Yeah. Then what are you going to do?
That's the thing. A lot of these people were probably involved in this. Right. They were probably involved in the processing and everything else. And that's who else are you going to hire?
Fascinating.
You're going to hire anybody around who can do it. And a lot of them are migrants, too, as we'll get into the population here. Normal male to female numbers here, about 50-50. Median age is about normal. It's about a year older than average at 38.6. They have married and single is a weird thing here with these people. It's way less married than normal.
Okay.
Normal, it's about 50-50, 35% married population here. So I feel like those are the people who have come to process heroin. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're counted in the census, but they're there for that. All the numbers there are low when it comes to that, except for never married, which is much higher.
Okay.
So people stay single there. They just seem to for some reason.
In a town that's based around Catholicism, too. That's a little interesting.
It's odd. The married but separated, which is, normally
Catholics
about 5%-ish, 0.0%.
What?
Nobody's married but separated there, or at least won't admit to it.
Yeah.
It's very, very strange. The single with no children, but people have children, though, because there's a lot of, single population there is 64%. Single with no children is 16%.
Oh.
So that's,
single with children is in the 50s or 48.
25%.
Wait, what?
And then the married with no children.
I got you.
It's not of the single population. It's of the rest.
Got it.
When we get into the ages, only about half. There's not a lot of kids there. Only about half the normal amount of 0 to 17-year-old people there. So very low in kids. There's a bunch of people like 18 to 21. I don't know if those are the heroin processors or
maybe
what the hell they're doing.
One's already overdosed.
Maybe they're gone already. Yeah, it was laying everywhere. They had a little on their hand.
Got on their binky.
You know how that happens. It happens.
From time to time it does.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't had a little heroin on their kid's binky? Come on. All of us that have had kids, I mean, every once in a while.
From time to time, they absorb a little.
At some point, your kid's going to get a little heroin on his binky. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with that. The 18 to 20 bracket, though, very high, and the 60 to 64 bracket of age, both of them have about 3 times the amount normal there. So that's
3 times the amount?
3 times the amount normal.
Those are the people that missed the heroin generation.
Yeah, it's very odd. I don't understand.
They're aged out of it.
You're either 19 or 62 in this town. Like it's a very strange, specific thing.
And
here.
that may be because of the overdose too. That
maybe, or that might be
huge
people.
Population of overdose. Generally, when I think of heroin, I'm thinking of people in their 30s, 40s. In that, I realize that nowadays it's much younger.
Yeah, the kids too.
But in the 80s and the 90s, it tended to be a generation of older people.
I feel like it was just heroin was around. It's just everybody everywhere. Yeah, it's just it seemed like it was a lifestyle thing for a lot of these people. Racially, this town only 10.61% white. So
that makes sense.
Very much lower than the 62%, which is normal. It's New Mexico, yeah. 0% black, 0% Asian. It's not even a damn restaurant in this place. Well, then again, they don't use chilies.
It has chilies.
Yeah, they don't use chilies. Right. That's why. The Asians say that no chilies, and then they said, well, you're not allowed in our town at all. I'm sorry, you can't do that. It's 87.4% Hispanic. So
87.4.
Very, very, very Hispanic.
That's fascinating.
It's excessively Hispanic or extremely Hispanic.
And how much
Not
Native
excessively,
American?
It's fine. You can have as many Hispanics as you want in your town. I don't care. But
that seems
go crazy.
Lot. Yeah.
It's just out of whack for what we normally do. Yeah. Normally in a small town, we don't have 87% Hispanic. That's just
There's
not
no
normal.
City in this country that's like that.
No, not really. No,
it's that skewed.
No,
that's crazy.
It is. It's really, really interesting.
I'm shocked that there's not more Native American there too.
2%.
2%
Native American. You'd think there'd be more, but that's still higher than the average of. It's only 0.66% is the national population, so that's of Native Americans. So that's still a little higher. Religious, 65% religious, very religious there. About 50% is the average. 53% of the people there are Catholic, not a shocker. 0.0% Jewish. 0.8%.
There's no Spanish Jews, really?
No, it's odd, right? It's strange. You don't see a lot. Geraldo is the only one I know of. Outside of that, we don't
Geraldo.
I don't know if Geraldo works in the heroin processing. So I know he's Hispanic Jewish, so that's the one I know. There's Geraldo and Sammy Davis Jr. is the black Jewish guy. That's all we know.
There's no Hector Goldstein. Is that what you're telling me?
Not a lot. It's possible.
It's possible.
0.8% Muslim. So they have a couple of Muslims there, which is odd. I wouldn't expect Muslims to. Let's go to this mountain town where everyone speaks Spanish. But whatever. 75% Democrat, 22% Republican in the voting, which is about what you'd expect. If you're threatening to deport people on a daily basis,
that's a good point.
Or deport their grandmother, they might not vote for you. That's a possibility.
They may lean the other side.
It happens, is all I'm saying.
But that shows how much that topic and that actual issue divided people. That you took Catholic leaning people and turned them Democratic.
That's them
fucking
to
bananas.
the party that is okay with abortion.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that tells you a lot. Hardcore Catholic people. It tells you a lot. Well, also, too, I think it's just
like the
in
gays
general.
are fine. Bring them over.
New Mexico is a blue state anyway. It's just
true.
it always is anyway. So, I don't know.
Anyway.
Economically, not doing great here. 32% of the people there make less than $15,000 a year. That's a third. That's rough.
But you don't report your heroin income.
That's true. You don't report heroin income, and I feel like those are people that were maybe working the plants before things got busted. 53% of the people make less than $35,000 a year.
Yeesh.
So that is rough.
That's not easy to do.
And wait till we get into the jobs here,
to stretch that 12 months.
That's rough. And 0% of the people make over $150,000. 0%.
Somebody was making that.
Somebody, I'm sure, is the guy who owns the bronze shop or something, as we'll get into here in a second. 7.5% unemployment, which is about 2% higher than the national average. $25,833 is the average household income, which is less than half.
$7K.
That's 26, less than 26, which is less than half the national average. The jobs there, 0% of everything. Management, 0%. Computers and science, 0%. Legal, 0. Education, 0. Everything, 0.
What do they do?
Healthcare support, 0.
There's no management and leadership. They just run amok.
50%, and this is the numbers that we have reported, but 50% personal care and 50% sales, office, and administrative support.
That have no management.
Apparently.
They're just running around selling to the people.
Well, management of business and finance. It's that sort of money management, that sort of thing. So, none of that. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's extremely odd with that. Cost of living there, as we say, 100 is our base. We'll call that average par. 81 is the cost of living in Chimayo. Housing is a 53 out of 100. So housing is pretty low. The median home cost is about $98,000, which is just about half of the average, about 183 average. We'll get into what the homes cost there. Not a lot. Most of them are. There's a lot. I mean, 18% of them are between $40,000 and $60,000. So that's not a lot.
A $40,000 house, even if you're making $27,000 a year, you can pay that off in a couple of years.
That'd be
5
great.
years.
Yeah, I don't know what that house looks like. Well, let's find out with the Chimayo, New Mexico real estate report.
Right.
Let's do it. The average 2-bedroom apartment there is about $660 a month, which is about $400 less than the average. Not a lot of real estate for sale there at all. There's like nothing for sale. I don't understand why.
Everybody
but
parks on it and hangs onto it.
There is nothing. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,400 square foot, very nice house on State Road 76 is only $239,000.
With an address of State Road 76.
Yeah, everything's on a state road there. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath house on just a dirt lot. It looks like something out of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that people would walk up to on their horse. And,
Albuquerque.
Lee Van Cleef would kill your family. Like it looks like that pretty much. $155,000 or a 6.67 acre lot of dirt. If you want to just pitch a tent, $129,000.
6 acres, that's decent.
It's
that's
not bad. It was just hilly dirt and dust and sand. It looked really shitty. Now, things to do.
Yes.
Obviously, the church, you got to go pray to the dirt.
Of course.
You do that. You swish that around a little bit. A lot of churches. A lot of churches, a lot of missions, all old Spanish stuff. You can go to Ortega's weaving shop.
All right.
Because there's a shitload of weaving. Just a ton of weaving. And then also, too, you can go to the bronze, like you buy bronze knick-knack shit. They have a store that does that. That's what there is to do there.
You can go to the bronze shop, or you can go to the weaving shop, or go pray.
Either one. Get yourself a statue and then go bring it there and pray to it, I guess. I mean, you're not supposed to do
blanket.
That. And then weave you need a blanket to put down so you can kneel.
Yeah, you
and not hurt your knees.
On something nice.
Well, if you're worshiping the dirt hole, you got to do that. Or I'm worshiping the dirt hole. If you're asking the dirt hole for something, never mind. I'm going to offend everybody.
That sounds like butt sex.
Yeah, it does. Moving on to crime from butt sex and church, which go hand in hand. Crime, we have property crime is burglary, larceny, theft, slightly higher than average, but nothing alarming. It's about normal. We get a little higher of property crime in these small towns for some reason. Kids are bored. I don't know what it is.
It's got to be, right?
Meth, I think, is involved too with these small towns. I'm not sure. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, assault, way higher.
Really?
Almost double the average.
What the hell?
Which drugs are still a big issue there, and I'm assuming that is what the issue is with that.
Also Catholicism.
Also Catholicism. People are killing each other in the name of Saint somebody. I'm not sure. We don't know that. We're just saying some saint. Now, let us get into our murder. Speaking of violent crime, let's introduce Ricky Abeyta. Okay, we're going to...
Abeyta or Abeyta?
Abeyta. I'm not sure how this is pronounced because I'm terrible with Spanish pronunciations, but we're going to go with Abeyta. Yes.
I never guessed that.
Chimayo is the way you pronounce it because I listen to newscasts to make sure. Take people's bullshit for that. Somebody from New Mexico.
That is my favorite thing.
You live in fucking New Mexico. You're going to tell me how to pronounce something? How about move to a half-decent place, you bastard son of a bitches, and tell me how to pronounce something. Chimayo. So, Ricky Abeyta is born March 3rd, 1962, which would make him 28 years old in 1991, where we pick up his story.
Okay.
He is a self-employed carpenter, which is not... Listen to these stats on somebody, okay? He lives in the mountains.
Yeah.
He's a self-employed carpenter who is known by authorities to possess a temper and is known as a prolific hunter.
Jesus.
All this, you add that math problem up. That's
somebody that chops somebody up.
That is a soup of not a bad tasting soup. That's going to make you. That's going to give you the shits tomorrow. I think this soup right here. That's a bad one. It is not great.
Did he choose carpentry because of Jesus? Is that what this is?
I don't think it is. Okay. I think he chose carpentry because he had no other skills. Not that people do that. Some people like carpentry, but I think he was just like, I don't know. That's the only job that is here.
I can sand some cupboards or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't even in town because there's no carpentry jobs, remember?
Good point.
He actually worked in Santa Fe all the time, which is obviously, because there's no jobs here.
Yeah.
In the past, state police have said that he's been arrested, never convicted of anything, though, which is odd. He's been arrested on a ton of different charges, including aggravated assault, larceny, harassment by telephone.
How do you get arrested on aggravated assault and not convicted?
They might have dropped the charges.
Okay.
It might have been that's we see that all the time.
To get an aggravated charge, though?
Well, I mean, that's the charge. They're charging him with that, maybe to try to get him to plea, and the other guy could have dropped it. The other guy could have changed his story. Right. It might have been who the hell knows? There's a million different things.
Generally aggravated, the state's like, you don't want to press charges? Well, fucking we will.
Yeah, well, I mean, they might not have had evidence if this guy doesn't want to testify. It's a small town.
That's such a vicious charge to wash away.
No clue what happened
That's
there,
a good point.
I mean, some guy could have spit in his face and he punched him, and then they called it aggravated assault.
Right.
So, I mean, you never know what happened there. But based on his history and what he ends up doing, I'm going to say he probably did something real shitty, and they let him off for no reason, and I wish he was in prison before this. And harassment by telephone, larceny, so he's just a general dickhead.
I'll wash that harassment by telephone. Who hasn't done that?
Everybody's done that. But
I've called a pizza place and fucked with people.
Yeah, I don't think it was messing with people. It was probably like, yelling at a girlfriend or something like that, I'm imagining, based on his past and what he does with in a relationship with a woman named Ignacia Vasquez Sandoval.
Okay.
He is in a relationship with her. They things are okay for a while.
Yeah.
They move in together. They lived together in 1989. They move in together into his trailer in Chimayo. So they're living in a trailer in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico, which is the dream. Obviously, that's what we all do.
Where heroin runs rampant.
Then when she was a little girl, I'm sure she told her
happily
mom,
ever after.
This is what she wants. And I'm sure this was his dream as a small child as well. So they live happily for a while.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people living in this trailer.
Really?
Also. Just a shitload of people living in this trailer.
That'll keep your relationship together.
You bet your ass. Her 14-year-old son, Eloy, lives there. Her 19-year-old daughter, Mary Ellen, lives there. Mary Ellen's 21-year-old boyfriend, Macario, lives there. And their 6-month-old son, Justin, all live there. And her and Sandoval, Ignacia's 16-year-old sister, Selena, also lived there.
Can we stop saying and? That's enough people.
That's in a trailer.
Yeah.
This is I don't care if it's a double wide. They don't make trailers big enough for 6-7 people. That's just way too many goddamn people in a trailer. So the dream, once again. This guy's coming home from work in Santa Fe to a house full of people. That sounds awful.
After carpentry work all day.
Awful.
With the stripping tools and the chemicals, and he's inhaling that shit all day.
Forget about it. He's
covered in sawdust, and he's going to walk in to 6-7 people.
He's a ticking time bomb is what he is.
6 or 7 people that already ate his big piece of chicken.
Yeah, and he's a dick on top of that. Of course. He's a complete dick, as we know. He's got violent tendencies. Right. He's not a great guy to begin with, and then you're adding stressors to it. This is not terrific. Like we said, prolific hunter and general jackass, and it's a little rough. So,
maybe he just said that assault was somebody aggravated him and he assaulted them, which I can see happening.
That's possible.
They were like he was aggravated and assaulted somebody. They're like aggravated assault. Write it down.
Let me tell you about that's what happened. Let me tell you about Wednesday, January 23rd, 1991.
Okay.
And I'm going to believe whatever the other person has to say in his aggravated assault case based on this.
Okay.
On Wednesday, January 23rd, 1991, Ricky and Ignacita have a fight. Big fight, huge fight. She says she wants to leave him. He loses it a little bit and fired 3 gunshots toward her car and her as she was trying to get in her car.
That's not good.
Didn't hit her on purpose, because he could have hit her if he wanted to, as we'll find out. But he definitely fired them in her direction to, I guess, let her know that he meant business and like to shoot at people, apparently. And I don't know. He hunted elk and deer normally, but he was hunting women in his driveway.
Richard Pryor
on this
did it
particular
too.
day.
I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't shoot. He didn't shoot the car. He didn't shoot her. He just
shot in that
toward
direction.
the direction to say 3 shots, though, is a lot. And
that's enough.
That'll scare the shit out of you at that point. So she went to the police, thankfully, saying, I'm scared. He just shot at me 3 times and I want to leave him. She told a domestic violence hearing officer, Carol J. Vigil, that Ricky had become very angry when she told him that she was moving out of the home and fired the shots at him and asked for a restraining order so she could move out and not be, murdered in the middle of it. They had a fiery relationship the whole time. They have broken up on at least 3 separate occasions. Yeah. And during these occasions, Sandoval allegedly, well, it's not really alleged because it's in the court documents. I think she didn't dispute this part. Nobody disputed this. She would remove all of her things. She would take everything. But each time he asserts that she would also remove most of his things too and take them every time she left. So he thought that she was going to do it again, and he was very worried about that in the whole thing where she said she was leaving, which she should, what?
So they're both at fault.
They're both at fault for that.
They fight, and she instigates further.
She instigates further.
It's a very Catholic fight is what it is.
Yes, and him, rather than leaving or whatever he could do, he makes the worst possible decision to take it to a violent level and shoot at someone or whatever. Who knows what other domestic violence was going on that wasn't the tipping point.
And this is in 91?
This is in 91. Okay. I don't think you go from nothing to shooting in someone's direction. I feel like there's a little bit of physical violence that happens before that.
There's a shaking at minimum.
There's a shaking at minimum, which I don't know her past or whatever, or if she decided that was all right with her. I have no idea what her upbringing is and that sort of thing. There's no way.
Sure.
To know that, I mean, that's the sad part. But
sounds very like an Italian relationship in New York in the 70s.
Kind of, like a 50s one.
Right, like a belt comes off, and you hear it clear the belt loops, that snap.
That was like, charming in an old movie, and you're like, God, that's horrible. That's not charming. No. This is fucking horrific.
That'll ruin children
for life. He just took his belt off. Like, that's a weapon.
Swung it in her direction.
That is not great.
Buckle first.
Yeah, think about the honeymooners. That was their big
to the
joke.
Moon, Alice.
To the moon, I'm going to punch you in the face. I weigh 320. My wife's about
You're
a $125.
dainty woman.
I'm going to come home and she's aggravated, and I'm going to punch her in the face because she asked me a question.
To the moon.
To the moon. Not even.
Not just like lay you out.
He didn't even say, I'll give you the back of my hand or anything. I'll give you a smack. He said, I'm going to punch you so hard it will physically lift you off your seat through the roof and atmosphere and onto another
satellite.
Yeah, another.
And that is their joke.
And
that's hilarious.
An orbiting rock in space. That's a joke. And everyone's like, that's great.
I'm going to send you to John Glenn's footsteps.
Remember in I Love Lucy, the episodes would end on a big laugh with Ricky putting her over his knee and spanking her.
Right.
And her going, and him, Lucy, and he's
You got
beating
some
her ass.
splaining to do, Lucy.
And she's like, oh no, he's really going to beat me up this time. And you're like, this isn't okay.
This isn't funny.
This isn't okay.
This is domestic violence.
Yeah, and she was like a national treasure, and people liked her. Do you think somebody would be like, can we help Lucy? Like this, I don't like Lucy getting physically threatened every week. No wonder why Hispanics got a bad reputation in this country. Jesus Christ. People watched I Love Lucy, and they were like, they all beat their wives, apparently.
And every episode is her fucking up and like trying to fix the mistake because she's afraid she's going to get the
out of her. Yeah. He's going to beat the living shit out of her.
She's on an assembly line jamming chocolate in her face because she doesn't want to catch the wrath of fucking Ricky.
Ricky's going to whoop my ass.
Jesus.
It's not great. So, my God. So Saturday, January 26th, 1991, this is 3 days later after she went to get the restraining order. They tried to serve the restraining order on him Wednesday, and he wasn't home. So he hasn't been served this restraining order yet. So this is going down on Saturday, January 26th, 1991. Before Ricky leaves, he goes to work in Santa Fe that day. Before that, he has a gate around his trailer, and he locks the home and locks the gate before he leaves because he doesn't... According to him, he doesn't want her taking his stuff. Sounds like he's trying to control what she can do in her movement and getting her stuff out as well. So if he wanted her to not have his stuff, he'd be like, hey, I'll be there and you can take your stuff and leave. That's what a reasonable person would do if they were concerned about that.
Or we'll call the cops and have a neutral party monitor your actions.
Who can we both trust? They can be the mediator. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, this isn't the way to do it. Sheriff's Deputy Jerry Martinez attempts to serve the restraining order that morning also, and this was already after he had left for work. Luckily for him, Ricky's mother, who lives right next door. His mother and his sister live in the trailer right next door. So Sheriff, I should say, Martinez thinks about leaving it with his mom, the restraining order, but then decides that that's not proper service, and he's gonna wait to see him. Whatever. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway. So they try to do that. Around noon this day, Sandoval comes to collect her things. She brings her family with her also. She brings some family. She brings Eloy, who is her son. The 13-year-old comes. He cuts the gate with wire cutters. He cuts the lock on the gate.
Right.
He tied it up. He cuts that with the wire cutters. And then Deputy Martinez comes back. He was checking again to see if he could serve the paper. He comes back and gives them permission to enter the house to get her things. He says, why don't you go in there and get it? I have the restraining order. So whatever. I'll keep an eye on things. I'm here. It's fine. So Ricky's mother and his sister Dora meet Sandoval at the gate, and they try to keep her from taking. They're saying that don't take any of Ricky's things. They're trying to be his eyes and ears with this. Deputy Martinez again has the restraining order, and he says, "Look, it's valid. It's fine. I'm going to watch her pack up her possessions, and then you can look and watch and everything, and we'll all be cool and everybody be observers." Which seems fine.
He's keeping the peace.
He's keeping the peace, right? So she's moving out. And along with her, too, is her 25-year-old with Sandoval, Ignacita, 25-year-old younger sister, Cheryl. Cheryl's two young children, Roland and Nikki. They were also there. Also, Sandoval had hired Peter Martinez, who was a neighbor that she met that morning in town to assist with the loading. Just a guy to,
somebody to help move it.
Help pick shit up.
I'll buy you a pizza.
We have like a bunch of women and kids, and I got to pick up this bureau.
I got a TV. I need your help.
I got a TV. I got a 1991 TV. It weighs a shitload. It's an enormous. It's only a 25-inch, but
I need your pickup.
It's going to take three of us. They have a U-Haul and 3 cars to take her stuff away, so they're prepared.
Here's the thing: Ricky should be thrilled about this because this
is what I'm saying.
A U-Haul coming to take all of that shit and all those people out of the house. You don't even
have to do it.
You're about to have a vacation,
That's
sir.
what I mean. If he's so miserable and he's so mad at her that he needs to shoot at her, she's going to leave with all these people. You're going to have the place all to yourself
with nothing in it.
Well, that's what someone who needs to control. That's the difference. That's not. He doesn't just go, "Hey, cool, look at me. I can watch TV with my hands down my pants." This is a sane person's thought. Yeah, we're having a sane person's thought of, "Cool, I'm going to eat whatever I want for dinner and watch whatever I want on TV and do whatever." Yeah, no, I'm going to watch porn with the sound up. Is what men. That's what you're thinking. I know you. That's exactly what you're thinking.
I'm going to sit down with all this chemical on me and my lazy boy and just
normal
unzip.
People are going to think.
That's what I'm going to do.
He thinks, "No, God damn it, I can't allow this to happen.
I got to shoot at her."
Yeah. So anyway. I keep wanting to say officer. Sheriff's Deputy Martinez stays with her to watch her, and he kind of wanted to make sure everything. He heard that he was shooting at her. Ricky had shot at Sandoval, and he's like, "Let me just make sure everything's fine." Supervises her pack. Blah blah blah. He never shows up, Ricky, through this whole thing.
Really?
Until Martinez leaves to investigate a tip he had on a stolen car nearby. So also around this time, an officer, Glenn Huber, state police officer Glenn Huber, stopped by to assist, just to watch and see what was going on. But they both left. Huber just left to drive around, and Martinez left to investigate a tip.
What state troopers do.
What state troopers do. They're just hanging out. Now, Ricky's mother, who was sitting there next door, they kept coming back and forth, and they were really... They were really into watching the whole thing here.
Okay.
In addition to that, also, his sister Sandra came. Ricky's sister Sandra came. Her boyfriend Lawrence was there. So there's a shitload of people there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people there.
It's a moving party.
Everybody's there except Martinez, the deputy. He leaves. Just about that time, Ricky shows up.
Uh-oh.
Something tells me Ricky was scoping this out and waiting for dude to leave.
I'm sure.
That's what I thought to me. I just, my personal opinion.
Far too convenient for him to show up right as they leave.
Right as they leave, and he wasn't there when they're there all day. So he pulls up, and this is what it's disputed exactly what happened, but this is what everything shows, and this is what the evidence shows happened. He shows up, and Eloy and Macario were outside the home loading the U-Haul. Macario is the daughter's boyfriend.
Right.
So is Sandoval's daughter's boyfriend. They're loading the U-Haul. His mother, Ricky's mother, and his sister Dora were watching the loading and doing all that thing. I guess one of his quilts, he had a quilt that fell, and it was dropped on the ground by the porch, so Dora got mad about that, the sister, and made a little bit of a scene about that. Normal bullshit happens. But Ricky arrives, and he walks up to the home carrying a rifle and a revolver.
Oh, no.
This is what he has in his hand. So everyone's a little like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
Now, it is normal for everyone around there to have weapons, and he lives in the mountains.
And he's a hunter.
He's a hunter, but the fact that this is going on and he's walking up with guns, a normal person would know that this isn't the situation to walk up with your guns. People are going to think you're going to shoot them.
This is a problem.
Especially since you shot at this lady 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a problem. So apparently there's an altercation with Eloy, the son. Eloy is I don't know what the confrontation is. Nobody will know. But he says there's some sort of confrontation. At this point, Ricky gets extremely angry and says in Spanish, and I'm going to mispronounce the balls off of this, but he says, con esto pagan, okay, which means I pay you back, apparently. He's going to pay you back. It's something like I got something for you, motherfucker. It's the Spanish version of that.
Oh, okay.
He says this. He shoots Eloy in the chest and shoulder, the 13-year-old. Shoots Eloy in the chest and shoulder. Then the Macario had his back to him in the U-Haul truck loading something. Like, in a U-Haul, you're trying to pack it in there, like a U-Haul truck there.
Get your money's worth and put everything in a square.
Yeah, Ricky shoots him in the back, shoots Macario in the back. He falls. So now there's shots going off. Now people are very concerned. There's people swarming everywhere. Sandoval's daughter, Mary Ellen, has her 6-month-old Justin in her arms. She runs outside to run away, and they are both shot in the head. This is a 6-month-old child and the daughter, who is 18 years old, are both shot in the head as they fled. They're unclear whether they were killed by different bullets or one bullet passed through both of them.
Oh, my God.
Which, either way, it doesn't matter. It's horrific. The evidence does never found that out exactly. They could never figure it out because it's such a mess, this scene. So now Ricky he's outside. He shot a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Eloy's still alive, by the way, at this moment in time. He shot a 13-year-old. He shot his girlfriend's daughter's boyfriend, which he probably doesn't give a shit about. Yeah. And now he shot an 18-year-old girl with her 6-month-old son in his arms. Here. This is bad enough already. Yeah. Right now, turn the gun on yourself, please.
It's over.
I'm sorry.
You're not getting out of this, man.
I'm not trying to.
There's 4 dead bodies, and they're all young.
They're all young. You fucked up really bad. Yeah. This situation is clearly out of hand, and you know what? It's only going to get worse for you. So do it. But he doesn't, though, of course. He doesn't. He enters the home, of course, where Sandoval and Cheryl and Selena, they're all in there packing. He yelled and screamed at them and said that they would pay again. And says the same thing again. He shoots Cheryl in the back of the head as she knelt on the kitchen floor. They all said it looked like she was praying, like she was begging him to not shoot her. Yeah. Shoots her in the head. Then he turns the gun on Ignacita, Sandoval, his girlfriend. First shoots her in the finger. Misses somehow. I don't know if there was a struggle or what. And then shoots her in the face.
My God.
And that kills her. So now we are up to 5 people shot and
6
people shot and 5 dead at the moment. Okay, so he leaves the house. He takes a second, looks around at the scene that he's created, which is monstrous and a mess. And I don't even know what to say about this. He's turned this into a horror movie. Yeah. No, there's no solution except go outside. Like I said, turn the gun on yourself, asshole. Do
what
us all a favor.
What he should have done before any of this. Before any of this is just fucking open your mouth and put the pistol in it.
Either that or just act like a normal person. Let this goddamn lady move out.
No, I mean, if you're dead
set
set on killing all these people, just end yourself. Go away.
What's the point? Why are you doing this? No, I agree. It's ridiculous.
If you're dead set on murder, just kill yourself.
Yeah.
That's my solution.
You know what? Good solution. That's it. Kill yourself.
Don't ruin all these people's lives, and one that didn't even start yet.
Don't do it somewhere where someone's going to have to clean that shit up, too. Go out in the woods and do it and let the animals eat you. That's perfect. Do that. Don't do it in some goddamn hotel room where some fucking maid from El Salvador is going to have to clean this shit up.
Poor lady.
She's got 2 kids in school she's trying to feed.
She barely speaks English.
Let's not do that. Yeah, don't do that shit.
She's struggling enough trying to put gas on pump 5, and you're going to fucking...
You're going to
cause her more anguish.
Scrape brains off the wall with a squeegee.
Forget that part. She's got to look at it. You know, like that part alone is enough.
Yeah. Well, she's seen worse in her country.
That's
anyway, so Ricky also, they think, hit Ignacy twice in the back of the head with the gun. So he beat her too on top of it, which they don't know if that came before or after.
So we've got one person that's not dead yet.
Eloy is in the front. So
there was 3 people packing inside.
Yes,
one
they've all
killed.
they're not dead, but everyone he shot at, one is alive out of the people he shot at.
Right.
6 shot, 5 dead. Alive 13-year-old boy outside.
Got it.
So he does this. He looks around. He then leaves the house, sees Eloy outside, shoots him again.
Oh, God.
This time hitting him in the groin area.
Oh, my God.
Nice guy, right? At this point, Sheriff's Deputy Martinez pulls up.
He comes back,
and he just pulls up and just gets out of his car. He has kind of one foot in his car, like he has no idea any of this has happened.
He has no clue. He can't see anything.
He has no idea.
He just pulls up.
He pulls up out in front. It's a big area. He has no idea what happens at all. He is shot twice in the head, Deputy Martinez now, while standing next to his police car right when he got out.
Holy shit.
So now he's shot a baby and a police officer and multiple women.
Yeah.
You can't he is stacking this up worse and worse and worse and worse. What's
He's
next?
not going to survive in prison.
Is he going to go to the chapel and slit the priest's throat, start killing nuns? I mean, what's he going to do next?
While he's praying to dirt, his life isn't bad enough?
Unbelievable. So at this point, we have Officer Glenn Huber, who had been in the area.
Yeah.
And he had been, he decided that he had heard there were shots fired and decided to go check out the scene. He pulls up. He pulled away. This is the other thing, too. He has no idea what's happened here.
Yeah.
He has no clue what's happened. He heard there were shots, but there was also shots Wednesday.
Right.
So he might have been just firing shit in the air. Or people say, too, this is the other thing, shots come from this property all the time. They think it's target shooting most of the time because of his hunting. So for shots to come from this property is not odd.
Yeah.
No one.
It's not crazy.
Yeah, everyone's like, well, they shoot things sometimes. So Officer Huber, stops well away from the scene he wanted to size up the situation before he does anything because he's smart. He's not an idiot. He is at a range of about 200 yards. And this is what ended up happening was Ricky ends up going next door to his mother's house and he sees Glenn Huber, Officer Huber, pull up and he shoots him while he's in his car from 200
meters
200 yards away, hitting him in the head, killing him immediately.
That's a hunter.
He was sitting in his car, still had the radio microphone in his hand. He was calling it in. And he gets shot in the head, kills him immediately.
This is fucking bananas.
It's insane. And Glenn Huber, a couple things about these police officers here. He was in the United States Army, honorable discharge, first lieutenant. He joined the state police in 1981.
Goddamn hero.
He was a marshal in Pecos. Then he came back to join the state police in 88. He was a senior patrolman. He had a daughter, and he was married. He had 2 stepdaughters. It's brutal. Wow. Everyone loved him, too. Everybody said, quote from one of his workers said, quote, he's the type of guy who would stay out there until you were safe before he shut down the shift for the day. Glenn epitomized leadership, so they all loved him. Jerry Martinez, also U.S. Army paratrooper. He planned to run for sheriff, actually, in 1992, and he had a wife, 2 children, a 5-year-old and a 2-week-old baby.
My God.
2-week-old
robbed.
Baby. So this is, these are the people he's killing, and we know the others that we've described already. Unbelievable. So then Ricky... At this point, you're fucked now.
What do you do? What
does he do? He fled to the hills behind his mother's house. He takes off in the hills. He knows what he's doing up there. Yeah. He's a hunter. He does it.
You're not going to survive the rest of your life up there. The rest of your life is very short, by the way.
So State Police Sergeant Chris Valdez, who'd been a patrolman for about 2 years, then pulls up. He's finishing up a shift, and they call him in for shots fired. So he pulls up, and he sees this scene. And he said, quote, the first thing I see was this young kid with his chest bleeding. It was all sort of chaos. I was calling to Glenn Huber to tell me where to go, and we didn't know if Ricky was still in the house. He's calling Huber, who's dead.
Yeah.
And he's saying, well, we don't know where to go. What's going on? They don't know if Ricky's in the house. There's shot people outside.
There's a kid with his chest open.
They have no idea what's going on in the house.
Holy shit.
He said, quote, I got the call, and I knew Jerry Martinez and Glenn Huber were out there, but I had no idea they'd been shot. I showed up there, and then he talks about the kid. He says about the officers, quote, they were both ambushed. This happened happens every day. Officers are in volatile situations. Statistics show officers are more often at a domestic violence call. Yeah, parties are already angry by the time they show up. That's the truth. To be a cop, the domestic violence has to be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because not only do you have to deal just based on a normal thing, if I said, hey, go into those people's houses and get in the middle of their argument, you'd be like, fuck you.
No, I don't know what that shit's about.
You have to go in and deal with it. That's crazy.
And see, the media will have you believe that officers are fired on more on like robberies.
No, it's domestic. It's situations.
Robberies are rarely, they rarely catch the robber.
Yeah.
Like he usually gets away, and forensics catches that asshole.
People snap.
This shit is where it is. Right.
People snap. They're like, well, if she's going to be like this, then fuck it, I don't care anymore, and that's whatever. He's going to be like that or whatever. So now,
if you're in a bad situation, you're in a bad relationship, just fucking stop it.
Please
just get
stop.
out.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're putting other people's lives on the line.
As we see here. Now, about 30 police officers surround the trailer. Yeah. They believed he was still inside. They didn't know. Several hours later, they just decided to storm the place because they had no idea. They found the bodies of the two women inside.
Jesus.
Also, too, they found Ricky's pickup truck abandoned outside of town.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, what's going on here? Now Valdez has had to enter this home and found when they walked up to it, they found the 5-month-old shot through the head.
Fuck out of here.
That had fallen underneath a truck.
Oh, Christ.
I mean, how horrible is that to find under a truck?
Ugh.
Under a truck. I don't even know what to say about that. That's another one. I've said that several times in this because I'm speechless in this.
So terrible.
Valdez said, quote, they prepare you in the academy to see one of your own dead. They tell you you're going to see a New Mexico State police officer dead. And so you learn to deal with that. Not a 5-month-old baby, especially shot in the head under a truck. That's horrible. So he killed 7 people, including 2 police officers, a baby, everything. It is the worst. It was at the time the worst mass slaying in New Mexico history, in modern New Mexico. I mean, who knows what happened in the 1800s or, what they did to Native Americans. In a civilized
society where people pay taxes and have day jobs, this is the worst one.
So now he is armed in the hills.
Yeah.
He's believed to have, because he shot the officer Huber with a 7mm Magnum rifle. Mm-hmm. He's got a pretty decent gun there.
Yeah.
38 caliber handgun, that's his, and he took Deputy Martinez's 357.
He took his gun,
He took his 357, so he's got all of those out there. Police Major John Denko says evidently the situation became volatile before they got there. They were caught by surprise, totally off guard. So, yeah, that's the truth.
I would say so.
People are obviously shocked around this place. A neighbor from across the street said, it hurts, man. It really hurts. This is a Luis Garcia. Whatever was going on between him and the woman was something else. Killing the officers and the other people, especially the kids. I don't see why he killed them.
Needless.
No shit. Other people... Also, too, they said that Ricky had shot several dogs in recent years.
Really?
Like from the neighborhood. He'd been hunting, shooting people's dogs.
Fuck?
He's a lunatic. So, massive manhunt.
Yeah.
Every officer they can find in the area. Helicopters, dogs, you name it. Full court press.
Yeah.
There's a reporter that comes to visit it. And he was talking about this reporter was saying how everyone was scared about Abeda.
Of course.
Because he's such a good sharpshooter. He said, quote, everyone was talking about how he was this incredible sharpshooter. The lore was that he could knock the bell off a goat from 100 yards.
Oh, how about he could knock the head off an officer from 200 yards?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey now, look at us.
Hey. Police also found his cigarette butts, Ricky's brand of cigarette, on a bluff overlooking the scene. That was crawling with officers and reporters, and apparently he was up there
smoking.
Yeah, they said the reporter was like, they found 6 butts up there. It was like he was just up there watching us. So that's what kind of guy this is.
That's terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying.
A man that can do that from 200 yards away is sitting there smoking, watching you.
You could start picking people
completely
off.
Armed.
And he was thinking about it, too.
Yeah.
Should I start shooting?
Right.
I mean,
who should I hit?
At dark, they call off the search because they said, quote, it's pretty scary now. You don't want to be
now?
out. And especially he knows this terrain and you don't. You're going to know. It's the sergeant or police major John Denko said again, quote, we don't know what his mental state is. We know it's not normal. That's the most accurate thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't even know if that's very accurate.
No,
I know what his mental state
is.
Normal. Fucking desperate.
Not normal would be really
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Sunday morning, the next morning, near Bernalillo, California, New Mexico, I say California, Ricky's brother-in-law, Manuel Sanchez, gets a knock on the door, and it's Ricky.
Oh, my God.
Shows up at the door, and Sanchez said, quote, he just knocked on my door and said he wanted to just surrender. So
that's it?
That's it. Sanchez and a couple other family members took him to a police station near Albuquerque.
And they beat the living shit out of him and then handcuffed him, I hope?
He turns himself in. Well, that's probably why he went near Albuquerque to not get this guy's buddies. He turns himself in. People are just blown away by this, obviously. Yeah, the Secretary of Public Safety in the area said, quote, "This has to have lasting impact. We've made history. It's a bitter pill to swallow." Like, yeah, no shit. And people also talk about how...
What a horrible history.
Yeah, before this is January 91, which is also when the Persian Gulf War happened.
Oh, yeah.
And they said it was just the Saturday or the Friday before, all Persian Gulf.
Yeah.
And then from then on, they've just talked about nothing but the shooting in the area because it's a huge deal when there's 2,700 people in an area.
I don't recall hearing about it here, though. I'll tell you that right now. It's so close. That's why we're doing it. Yeah.
It's, you don't hear about these small towns. You just don't hear about it.
I was watching TV then, and it was just bombs over Baghdad all day.
Yeah. Now, Ricky is arraigned on Monday. He is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 1 count of involuntary manslaughter, which is... those are hefty.
How about all first degree?
How about all first degree? But they have to do it legally. That's fine. He's charged with it's first degree in the deaths of Cheryl Rendon, Mary Ellen Sandoval, Ignacita Sandoval, and Glenn Huber. Okay. I don't know how the other ones are second degree, but those are... I don't know.
Even the 6-month-old got second degree?
They got second. Jesus. That one might have been the involuntary manslaughter because they weren't sure if the bullet went through.
Okay.
So that's technically...
I can see it.
Yeah, because Mary Ellen, who is
it's not
one
justice,
of the first degrees,
but I can see it.
Exactly. That's the thing. Legally, it makes sense.
Right.
Second degree was in Marcario Gonzalez and Jerry Martinez, and the young boy, Justin, was the involuntary manslaughter. Now... Magistrate Richard C. Martinez orders Ricky to be held without bail. Good. Obviously, he tells Ricky to, quote, reflect on the lives lost while he's in jail, and says, quote, "It saddens me, yet it also sickens me when domestic violence results in such violent acts which eventually take the lives of human beings, especially those of innocent children. Get your ass to jail, dickhead."
Yeah.
Now, his asshole family, though, 20 members of his family showed up all teary-eyed.
What?
Saying, that he's a nice guy.
I don't care.
He's a, quote, a quiet, even-tempered man. His brother-in-law, who took him in, said, quote, "I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. When you get upset, you don't realize what you're doing. He was probably provoked." Probably provoked to kill 7 fucking people, including 2 police officers and a goddamn 5-month-old baby. No, sorry, can't be provoked into doing that. You can't. At trial, the prosecutors seek the death penalty, obviously. Not too much there.
Yeah, there's no argument there.
No. Ricky testifies a shitload.
He testifies?
Oh, he testifies, yeah. He said...
What could this asshole have to say?
He said that he didn't even notice what was going on when he came in. He went to his mother's house, didn't really see them, and then he went to he had a garage down the hill. He went to put some paint away that he purchased, and he said he saw the moving operation from down there, and he said he only took his rifle and revolver out of the garage to take to his mother's house because he was concerned Sandoval would pack up all of his shit in the garage, too. So those 2 guns were the only thing he was concerned about, apparently. He said he had the revolver, and he picked up he just had him. He said, it wasn't a big deal. He noticed that some of his clothes were being taken to the U-Haul, and he said he went over to ask them to leave his stuff very politely.
Please leave my Levi's.
He's obviously a reasonable guy.
Right.
He says when he got there, Eloy accosted him with a knife, and during the scuffle, he said his hand was cut twice in the scuffle with a 13-year-old boy.
A 13-year-old cut him twice.
For some reason said that.
While he's holding a rifle and a pistol.
He said he forced Eli to drop the knife. Then he said he saw Marcario in the back and told him that, my clothes are in there, get my clothes out. And Marcario told him, "I don't know anything about that, but, quote, don't try to stop us because you won't see tomorrow," is what he said. So he's saying he was threatened.
A man carrying a box of his clothes told a man carrying 2 guns, "You won't see tomorrow. I'm going to beat you to death with these Z Cavaricis. I'm going to beat the living shit out of you with these Jordache jeans. You better back up.
Strangle you with your own socks.
You won't see tomorrow. I will choke you with these BVDs.
I'll make sure." He then claims that Ricky then claims that he sees Eloy pointing a handgun at him from the cab of the U-Haul, he says. So he said he reacted automatically by lunging to the side and shooting. He said he didn't know whether he shot him or not, but he said he put another round in the chamber of his rifle and put it against the porch railing. He said then someone hit him from behind, and the rifle slipped off the railing. And he said as he grabbed at the rifle, it went off by accident.
This is a hell of a story. This sounds like my 8-year-old explaining why all the Cheetos are gone. Yep. This is so terrible.
He said as he was trying to recover the rifle, he somehow reloaded it with another shell by accident. He literally says he unintentionally caused a third round to be loaded, which I don't know how the fuck you do that. He said that he was hit again, and he felt somebody grab his revolver from his waistband. When he turned around to see who hit him, he caught a glimpse of someone walking by with a baby. He said that he was hit on the head again at that point, and as he was hit on the head, the rifle discharged, falling out of his hands, and was a perfect shot, and,
just hit the baby and her in the head.
Perfect shot.
Unbelievable.
This guy has amazing luck. I wonder why he's such a good hunter.
He's just lucky. Bumbling around hitting shit.
He's just random. Yeah. He's got his hat over his eyes and he's just shooting elk. They're falling left and right.
It sounds like a Chris Farley movie that's just like he's tossing a gun around and it's just hitting everybody.
So he said he goes inside to find out who hit him. He says he encounters...
Everybody's dead. Nobody has any answers out here. I better go inside.
I shot everyone out here.
This story is such bullshit.
Unreal. So he says that when he went inside, that Cheryl told him to stop and yelled at him, and he said that Sandoval had his revolver.
Right.
So Cheryl screamed "No, Ignacia," and covered her face and started to bend over. And Ricky says he went down with Cheryl to try to, duck out of the way, and that Sandoval tried to shoot him, but hit Cheryl in the head instead. That's the case there. So he blamed that on him. He then says he struggled with Sandoval over the gun, and saying that he fired the gun by accident, but her hand was in the way, and it shot her in the finger. That was the shot in the finger. And then he said he saw her running toward the front door with the gun. He says he caught up to her. She bent down and was trying to wriggle out of his grip. She pointed the gun at the defendant. She pointed the gun at Ricky, who he said hit the gun, forcing the barrel back toward her, and it went off and shot her in the face. He literally said,
"This is the best story
I am
ever.
Bugs Bunny, and I tied up Elmer Fudd's rifle in a knot, and it shot." What the
I put my finger in the barrel, and it shot backward.
So... Unreal.
What an asshole.
Duck, and now my beak's on backwards, and that's what happened. He is found guilty on all counts.
Thank you. Because how's he going to explain what the rifle fell over and hit the officer 200 meters away?
That's the thing. He had no explanation. He said, I don't know anything about that.
I don't know. Those guys are dead. They must have shot each other.
Yeah, that's what happened. Confusion. It happens. Now, the attorney was just trying to keep him from getting the death penalty, which is a long shot because he's killed babies and police officers, which are the two people they generally like to kill you for, is cops and babies. You can't kill those. He killed both, and one more just to make sure.
Just for good
and
measure.
Women, just to make sure that's it here. But they tried to humanize him, apparently, and they really tried to make him out like a person, and the lawyer tried to have his arm around him and shit and really humanize him. And the jury is deliberating on the sentence. Jury deliberates for 11 days on the sentence.
What?
11 days. That's
not good.
That's some deliberation. They come back and they give him a sentence of 146 years in prison without the possibility of parole.
That's not enough.
It's life in prison without the possibility of parole.
It's not enough.
It's miserable. He gets 30 years for each of the 4 counts of first degree. One of the second degree, he gets 13 years, 10 years for another, and then involuntary manslaughter, 3 years. So 3 years for shooting a baby in the head.
That's what I was just going to say. In New Mexico, you can shoot a baby in the head and do 36 months.
Yeah. He appeals, of course, saying that they didn't. The trial judge refused to give the jury instructions that he requested, instructing them that they could find that it was self-defense. He tried to claim self-defense. This whole thing, he said, people were hitting me, guns were going off, I didn't know what was happening. He tried to claim self-fucking-defense.
That's unbelievable.
Wow. They do not have his appeal, obviously. Good. That doesn't matter. For some reason, he is serving his sentence in Walker County, Texas, which I have no goddamn idea. Since it looks like March of 2000 he's been serving there. I don't know why. I have no clue why. I could not find why, but he's in Walker County, Texas, in their prison system. Eloy Sandoval survived, and he's actually doing well.
Oh, good.
There's an article on him in 1999. He explains about the crime. He said, quote, "It was my mom's ex-boyfriend. She was moving her stuff out of the trailer. He showed up with all kinds of guns and started shooting everybody. At this moment, he said the only thing he has of his mother were flashbacks of her murder and her 1973 Grand Prix, Pontiac Grand Prix. So what he did... He says, quote, "She always wanted a nice paint job and nice wheels. I always wanted a lowrider. I decided to fix up the car in memory of my mom. Whenever I worked on it, I felt peace. Right at that point, it was a organic candy green with cloud-shrouded portrait of his mother painted on the trunk, and the words "in loving memory, Mom's dream." And he says, "quote, I'm not going to stop working on it until it's the centerfold of Lowrider magazine."
All right,
so that's nice. At least
Lowrider,
he's trying to do
if
something.
If you're listening, get that car.
Yeah, come on,
give
man.
him a hand.
Hopefully, Eloy's still around. That was 18 years ago.
Fingers crossed.
There's been articles on the 20-year anniversary. It's the Chimayo Massacre, it's known as. Chimayo. It's a horrible thing. They did 24 years after that. The town, the area there, they retired Deputy Martinez's badge.
Oh, that's nice.
in the sheriff's office, and the family was very happy. They said it's been a long time coming, but it's time to let go a little bit. They said so. They're trying to move on from this. And that's Chimayo, New Mexico, and that's a real piece of shit asshole and a horrible, horrible thing that he did that makes me want to punch him in the dick.
I mean, that may be the worst guy. I mean,
it's horrible.
I mean, all the guys we've covered have been
pretty bad.
Vile
I don't know what's
beings.
worse.
The one that shot the dog in its kennel is pretty bad.
But how can you say that's worse than the guy that raped and killed a bunch of teenagers
Oh, my God.
and strangled them? They're all terrible.
It's so hard to gauge, but this
is unnecessary
with
as it comes.
Defense.
This
with
is
a
unreal.
legit, he tried to get out of it.
It's unbelievable, man.
Wow.
So good thing he's there. If you're in Walker, if you're in Texas County Prison, see that guy, just punch him right in the dick.
Right in the dick,
and more if you feel like it. I don't care. So do whatever you got to do. Keep punching
to the
him in that
moon,
dick.
Alice.
To the moon, Alice. Put him over your knee and
punch his balls to the moon.
There you go, right to the moon. So if you like that story, what you can do is you can get on iTunes. You can give us 5 stars. Tell us anything. Reading makes your eyes tired.
Yeah.
We don't care. It doesn't matter. It helps us out immensely, and it's really the best thing you could do for the show. Well, barring unless you wanted to go on Patreon.com and make a nice donation to us. Anything you want. There's a lot of cool rewards there, and we appreciate every penny that we get, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, guys. We really, really, really appreciate it. And if you want to make a one-time donation, you can do that at PayPal using our whatever, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com is how you can do that there. You can also get a hold of us on social media, Facebook.com/smalltownpod, on Twitter @murdersmall. And we have some people here that we're going to give shout-outs to that have been so nice to us this week and helped us out with their Patreon donations and everything else. We want to do that, Jimmy?
This week was really, really great on Twitter, Instagram. All of it was really fantastic, just the all-around interaction. So thanks, guys. But the people that are supporting the show and really, really helping us out a tremendous amount are Arlene So, Lindsay Killips, Lisa White, Debbie Lombardero. Debbie Lombardero. That's so tough. Lombardero.
Hey.
Debbie Lombardero.
Debbie.
Kristen King.
Oh, Debbie.
Debbie.
What are you doing?
Oh, Debbie. Yeah. Come here, Debbie. Lindsey Brown, Heather Reynolds, Benjamin Thomas Sutton, Terry Hart, Amy Pohanic.
Yeah, she's cool now.
Pohanic.
Thank you, Amy.
Amy Pohanic, thank you. Tracy Zorag in New Mexico. Matter of fact, her and her husband
hope
are there. So thanks,
Chimayo.
Tracy. Yeah, I hope you're not too. Kellen Englert, Aaron Brown, Ann Brantman, Nita Marie. That's it. Nita Marie Valcheva.
Nice.
God, that's such a tough name.
That's a cool name.
It's a fun one.
I like it.
Jackie Neal, Honora Thong, Corey Wolf Gaines, Kimberly Schlenke, Kim Shang, Kyle Godert, Sarah Knudsen, Todd Crago, and Phil DeBeast. Thank you all so much.
Guys.
And
you
real
guys
quick,
rule.
the good Reverend Jonathan.
Good Reverend Jonathan Gilliard.
He's going through some shit. So keep your head up, buddy.
We love you, good Reverend. We love you, man. Keep it up, Rev Gilliard. Everybody give Rev Gilliard a shout out if you're friends with him on Facebook, Twitter. Tell him keep it up, brother. Yeah. We love you. And that's that. You want to give him your social media, Jimmy?
At Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Interact. It's fun. It's nice to hear from you guys. So you guys are the ones driving the show, so we like hearing what you guys think.
Definitely. And I am at Jimmy P is funny. You can catch me on whatever and look up my last name there. Yeah. You can just cut and paste it from the show description. It's the best way to do it.
I'll be at the
follow us. Yes, do this too.
I'll be at the Tempe Improv June 23rd and 24th with my friend Eliza Schlesinger. So come on out if you want to come holler at me, and maybe I can find you some tickets.
Definitely. And bitch that he's hosting. Be like, give this guy more time. Both the guys should not be hosting here. Right? That's right. Excellent. So do that. Till then, guys, we'll see you next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.